Okay, this week we learn about how to select socially important behaviors as target behavior and define the target behaviors in measurable and observable terms. Next week, in week 3, we will go more in depth and we'll practice how to develop measurable objectives using 5 required elements. In applied behavior analysis, assessment guides the identification of target behaviors and the development of interventions. A variety of methods are used, including direct observation, interviews, checklists, and tests. Assessment begins with a broad scope and uses the information gathered to narrow its focus. Through a process of screening, defining problems or goals, specifying target behaviors, monitoring, and following up on progress, assessment guides all aspects of behavior change. And again, the 4 major methods for obtaining assessment information are interviews, checklists, tests, and direct observations. Each of these methods provides a different source of information and is therefore used in conjunction to obtain a more complete understanding of a person's behavior. Determining the social significance of behavior is a critical step in the assessment process. Behaviors identified for change must be socially significant to the person and contribute to the quality of their daily life. Some of the ways behavior can have social significance include if it is relevant, if it increases the person's access to their environment, or if it is age appropriate. Typically, there is more than one behavior of interest or concern. When multiple behaviors are identified, they must be prioritized for intervention. This can be done by rating the behaviors against key questions related to the behavior's relative danger, frequency, long standing existence, potential for reinforcement. Relevance for future skill development and independent functioning, reduced negative attention from others, likelihood of success, and cost. Once a target behavior has been identified, it must be carefully and completely defined in observable and measurable terms. A good definition is objective, clear, and discriminative between what is and what is not an example of the target behavior. Well-written target behavior definitions are necessary in order to accurately and reliably measure behavior and to aggregate, compare, and interpret data. Well-written definitions are also necessary to guide ongoing program decisions, apply interventions consistently and accurately, and provide accountability. In addition to defining the target behavior, the criteria for changing the behavior must also be defined. The criteria must reflect the social significance of the behavior, and outcome criteria should specify the extent of change before intervention effort begin. Two ways to determine socially valid performance are to assess the performance of people determined to be highly competent and to experimentally manipulate different levels of performance to determine optimal results. If you are a student who is pursuing the BCBA certificate, make sure you understand these three concepts through this week's learning.